That yes, you are enjoying in your college life, but come back home and do that one or two DSA questions. That is going to be all that you'll fall back on that once you are sitting for your interviews or you're submitting your resume. That's going to be the skills that you will be falling back upon. So staying consistent, being perseverant.
Hey guys, welcome back to Entrance and Beyond. So I have a special guest with me, Upasana Chaudhuri. She's from Kalinga Institute of Technology in Bhubaneswar. So she's done 4 internships and she's currently doing a second internship at JP Morgan and Chase. Getting a single internship at JP Morgan and Chase is a really upskill sort of thing where you have to have all those skills, and she's doing her second internship. So she's currently in a fourth year. And in this podcast, we're really gonna dive into her journey and try to understand how she secured so many internships, her learnings over the 4 internships that she has done. And she's also going to talk about JP Morgan and Chase specifically, and sort of dive into the entire interview process, tools she used, how she was able to crack the interview, and all of that. So, guys, stay tuned into this podcast. So, thank you so much, Upasana, for coming to my podcast. So, before we go into all the technical details, it would be nice to know you a bit and know a bit about your life before college and all that. What sort of student were you? Were you like a backbencher, front bencher, like a normal student? And yeah, what's going on in your life right now?
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It gives me immense joy to be able to share my journey with people watching this. So, I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Upasana Chaudhuri. I am a software developer. I am a software engineering BTech CSE student from KIT University, Bhubaneswar, and I'm originally from Kolkata, West Bengal. As you said, I'm working as an intern at JPMorganChase, and I've always been a tech enthusiast. I like to develop things from scratch, build things from nothing, like they say. So about my class, I used to be a backbencher, kind of, not absolutely backbencher, but yeah, I was never in the front rows. So yeah, I used to manage everything quite well. It wasn't that difficult, studies and your own work. So yeah, and I'm extremely excited to be here because it's seldom that people get to reflect on their journey, and people don't have that much time nowadays. So yeah, and if I've achieved something so far, I hope I can inspire others. Yeah.
Okay. Nice to know. So let's start with college now. So like when you entered college, how was everything? How were you managing things? Because in the first year, it's quite overwhelming, and I think you were in the COVID batch. I think your first year must or first time
Yes.
must have been in COVID. But as you enter college, whenever you enter college, it's quite overwhelming. There's a lot of activities going around. There are a lot of seniors. You have to study as well, and there's a lot of things going around, right? And sometimes you lose focus really early on into your career, college career. But yeah, how was like your initial college journey, and how exactly did you sort of get into this coding mode, or when did you start actually looking into things and start really coding or making things in college?
Yeah, so yes, as you said, my first year was a COVID year. So I used to stay at home and attend online classes, and I had no idea what is actually required to, get those placements and be confident to give the interviews. So first year, I used to do the subjects that were taught in class. I had absolutely no idea. So I didn't start working on my projects in the entire first year, but yes, I did get the hang of it, though, that yes, you need to do stuff out of your core subjects, out of your curriculum, to be able to make the project. So I started in my second year when I actually came to college I mean, in the campus. So there were several college societies in my college. There were tech societies that I could take the advantage of. So yeah, I tried to get into a few of those, and after being a part of them, uh, it was kind of, they guided me a lot in building, learning the first of all the technologies required, and then working on those projects, and then building on my resume. So first year, it wasn't that. I mean, it was completely studies, but yeah, I started working from my second year on myself, on my resume. Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've talked about academics and studies a bit, there's a adherent question that I hear a lot. It's, people say that they're not able to manage everything. They don't have enough time because, particularly in the AI age, we have DSA and projects. That was something that was there initially as well. You have your academic, and then you also want to keep up with this latest trends that are coming out because in the AI world, there's something new that is popping up every day. So I think it's important to manage your time because you can't really dive too much deep into a particular subject because you have to build projects. You have to also do DSA. You have to look into your core subjects as well. So, do you have any tip regarding that, and how important is CGPA? Because that is the main question a lot of people have. So, yeah, it would be cool if you could sort of dive into how you manage your time and any tips you have, so that people can allocate time to all the different domains out there and actually do something.
Yeah, so when I was back in college, I had faced the same issue, but I wasn't able to tackle it so well. But now, when I think of it, there is a routine that people can follow, and I feel that if you work on your DSA, at least one question a day, depends on the capacity of the person. DSA for the weekdays, and then you're working on the project on the weekend. Weekend, you have a lot of time, right? So you can use at least 60% of your weekend time to work on your projects. That way, you'll also get the time to learn and actually deliver in the project. And if you're using the weekday after the time after a college that you get in your hostel or wherever you stay, at least one question a day. Once you get the habit, you can turn it to two questions, whatever is your capacity. But if you follow this routine and if you are consistent in this routine, I think there should not be that kind of a problem that you're forgetting once you leave DSA and work on your projects and you forget DSA. That's a very common problem, and even I had faced it. So I don't think you'll be losing touch of any of these aspects, DSA or your project work. And learning the latest trends that are in the market, that is also very important, because that is what the recruiter will see, that how you're standing out in the crowd. And yes, about CGPA, many people think that it is not important, and many people think it's extremely important, but it's neither of the two. See, it is important. If you have a CGPA less than 8.5, you won't get through the initial resume shortlisting round, or the initial round that you need to go through to the final, to the further rounds. CGPA is important for that. Um, but if you are maintaining a CGPA above 9 or above 8 point, well above 8.5, then you don't need to worry so much about it. Now you can focus on your resume or the skills that you require for your interviews. So CGPA above 8.5 is a standard that you should maintain. If you don't have that, then focus on it. And if you have it, then there is no issue with it. CGPA is that, like that way it's important. Yeah.
Okay. So, Pasna, I went through some of your projects, and I would say they're pretty unique. They weren't really the standard projects that you see, maybe the basic ML projects that you see or clone websites. Because Upasana is basically she has made a podcast related project, and there's multi other projects that she has made that were sort of unique. They were standing out from the general projects that we see out there. So, how did you First of all, how did you learn the skills required to make a project? Because I've seen a lot of people they focus on the skills, like they're focusing on HTML, CSS, or whatever technology they're learning, and but the problem is they just focus on the syntax, and at the end of the day, they don't end up building anything. And I wouldn't say that's the best way because if you haven't built anything, there's no use of even learning the syntax. So, first question would be, how did you learn the skills necessary to build projects? And then after that, how should people build unique projects, or how should they add some sort of USP into their project so that even if it's a common project, they have something that stands out?
Yeah. So, firstly, see, I have not spent so much time in learning the skills, but I've spent a lot of time in utilizing those skills to build something. So, I have built a lot of projects which are not there in my resume, also, which are normal projects that you get from YouTube
Mm.
or anything that you build from yourself. So, those are projects that help me learn how these skills are actually implemented in the project, right? Those are basic projects which people make, that many people have in their resume also. So I didn't go through those long playlists of JavaScript. Yes, I did go through a few videos to get the hang of it, but I didn't go through those long playlists that of
Yeah.
so many hours. I didn't invest so
Tutorial
much
like.
time in. Yeah, so I actually worked on the projects. Yes, I did take the help of projects that were there in YouTube. So I like some full stack projects. In my time, MERN was very
Yeah.
the in thing. Right now, AI is the in thing. So I used to work on those MERN projects that were there in YouTube so that I could get the hang of it. And once I was confident that yes, I can build something on my own, end to end projects on my own, then I moved to those the projects that you are talking about. And about this uniqueness that you're saying, so I took part in a lot of hackathons. The projects that you're seeing in my resume, the podcast streaming or rule builder, these are projects that I had worked during my hackathons. So hackathons, they do give you problem statements that are unique, right? You won't be able to think of a rule builder application, but the functionalities that I had implemented in that application, that is something that I will never be able to do in my own project because I'll never think of it that way. So yeah, so hackathons help me build those projects. Like, yes, I did build it to a certain extent during the hackathon, but I built upon it for my resume.
Oh,
So that's how. Yeah, and if you're not getting ideas for unique projects, you should be implementing stuff that are the in thing in the market. For example, if you are for people working on projects now, if they implement something on AI, if they are making some kind of recommendation using some kind of open API, then that would add an edge. But yes, how that will benefit the users is something that the uh, everyone has to think of. Yeah.
okay. Now let's jump into JP Morgan and Chase. Just starting off,
Yes.
what sort of opportunity was it? Like, was it on campus or off campus? And what were the rounds? And it would be nice if we could go through each of the rounds one by one. So I think the first round was probably resume selection and OA. So yeah, we could talk about that a bit.
Yes, JP Morgan was an on campus opportunity for me. So there were in total 4 rounds for it. The first round was a resume selection, like you said. So we had to submit our resumes, and they specify a specific CGPA cutoff in their job description itself. So in our year, it was a 7.5. But in the year after that, I remember my juniors told me it was an 8.5. So don't use that CGPA excuse that, yeah, the CGPA increased. That's not the thing. Because you have to maintain a CGPA above 8.5 for many companies, not just for JPMC. So, yes, your CGPA should be above 8.5 to be on the safe side. That is the most important criteria in the first round. Even if you have a strong resume and you don't have a good CGPA, you won't get through it,
Yeah.
right? But if you have a good CGPA, then no need to worry about it. For your second round, that was an online assessment. In the online assessment, we had two questions to be solved in 60 minutes. Uh, the two questions were easy to medium level questions. So if you have solved DSA from common sources like Striver sheets, or uh, you followed some videos, you know the common patterns of DSA, then you will be able to answer it. So uh, the questions were from a variety of topics. And I'm talking about all of us who had appeared for it. We got questions from arrays, linked lists, queues, binary trees, and so on. And After that round, we had the higher view round. So when the results come out from the OA and we have to sit for the higher view, there is not much time between that. So uh, it is better to prepare for higher view from before. So higher view is basically an AI proctored HR interview. It is not going to ask any technical questions. It will just ask HR questions to test the presence of mind and how fluent you are with your language, that sort of thing. So yes, there was 1 minute given. There were two questions asked, and once the question pops up on the screen, we were given 30 seconds to prepare for it, and then 1 minute to answer the question. And there were two attempts allowed for each question. So if you're not satisfied with the first attempt, we could go to the second attempt. But if we go to the second attempt, we cannot submit the first attempt answer. That's how it goes. So yeah, for higher view, it is recommended to basically practice from before, because it's a one shot thing. You won't be able to give the interview twice. So it is important to at least go through some common questions and be prepared with answers. You can automatically arrange the words if you know basic common questions for it. So and it is the most important round. They have their maximum shortlisting in this round itself. So if you get through this round and you go to your the last round, which is the hackathon, Code for Good. So in the Code for Good round, we had it offline, online, because I was from a COVID batch and they still didn't shift to complete offline stuff. So, but for the batches that are coming for it right now, they will have to be actually present in the office. They'll be called to the JPMC Bangalore or Hyderabad, Mumbai offices for the offline Code for Good hackathon. Random teams will be assigned. They won't be able to choose their team members, but yeah, hopefully you get a well balanced team to be able to make it through the hackathon. So there will be mentors. They will also be randomly assigned, but what is important is not to win the hackathon. If you have a good team, you'll automatically be in the finalists, or you maybe win. But what is important, which I hadn't realized back then, but what is important is actually to make yourself visible in front of the mentors. So the mentors are the ones who will be evaluating you. It is not required that you know all the tech stacks that your team is using. Like in my team, we had React for front end and Node.js for back end, but I knew both of them. But there were many of my team members who didn't even know React. They knew HTML, CSS, and maybe JS. But they were asked questions on those topics that they knew, so that the interviewer knows that you know the stuff that you know well, right? But I was asked questions on React, not on HTML, CSS. So it depends on the skills that you have that you will be interviewed on, and also depends on the mentor. How many rounds of technical interview or behavioral questions that you will be asked. But for the offline hackathon, you will be having separate green rooms where you'll be having the interviews taking place, and it is completely up to the interviewer whether you'll be asked DSA questions or questions on the tech stacks that you're working on in the hackathon, or behavioral questions. So it depends from team to team. But yes, if you know what you're doing, Code for Good round will be relatively easier than the higher view round, right? So yeah, Code for Good will be the last round, and after that, after 1 month or 1.5 months, you'll be getting the results from JPMC itself. They'll be yeah,
Okay.
that's the process for JPMC.
Okay, so Upasana, thank you so much. It was like a really good explanation, and I think people will get a total idea of as to what sort of thing is expected from you as a student. So I want, so yeah, folks, just a thing. Upasana has her own YouTube channel, so she has had a couple of videos related to higher view, so you can get a deeper understanding about higher view, because in a podcast we can't really fit that into too much detail. But you can check out her channel. I'll attach the link so you get a clearer idea about the entire higher view process. So, Pasna, now that you have done 4 internships, I'd like to know one or two, maybe the biggest lesson that you have learned. And over this journey, what is maybe one or two mistakes that you made? if you made any mistake. I don't think there would be any sort of real critical mistake that you must have made. But yeah, so one or two learnings and one or two mistakes that you wouldn't want to repeat if you had the chance to go through the entire process again.
Yeah, about the four internships that I have worked on. So basically, the first two internships I had worked remotely from my college. In my third year, I guess I had both internships together. So people won't recommend having both internships, two internships, and then college studies. That's very hectic. But yes, if you have at least one internship from college, see, projects all of us make. Everyone who wants to build their resume, all of us make projects. But you know, getting to know what is right, where I should use what is wrong, that experience we can get through working for someone, working in a company. So that experience I had in my, that was basically my foundation level of working in a in a team. And after that, um, the internships that I had a my summer internship at JPMC, and so that was my first offline internship, right? I actually had to go to office, and so that gave me the opportunity to learn how to build networking skills, communication skills. That is extremely important in corporate, to know everyone in your team and to have a good rapport with each and every person. That is something that I learned. And of course, about the work, we had in my summer internship, we had the pressure of a pre-placement offer. So what I used to do in that is, I used to work during the office hours. I used to work in office, and we had these team leads, we had development leads and managers. I used to have regular check-ins with those. With my leads, so that I know where I'm lagging behind or where I have to have some improvement. And I used to come back home and I used to work on myself. So that's how I managed my time when I was in JPMC. Then my fourth internship was in Corridor Platforms. So that was a startup. That's a different ball game altogether, because in startups you get to learn so much uh, at such a fast rate, and you also have to deliver according to their expectations. So I will say that what I had learned in my college days, whatever I have learned and what I've learned in Corridor has been, there's a hell and heaven difference. And I will be able to use that experience wherever I'm going in future. Um, yeah, so that has kind of made me two steps ahead. And about the mistakes that you said, I used to make that classic mistake of leaving DSA for 2 months and going to development and then coming back to DSA. So every time I came back, I forgot everything, so I had to start from the beginning. So that mistake, I think if I could go back, I would like to rectify that. I would want to do both in a kind of set both in a kind of a routine and follow that routine, because it is very natural to forget even questions that you've solved and you had done it so well, and you come back to that same question, you don't understand a thing. So it is very important to revisit the questions that we have solved, and to do both simultaneously. I don't know about development, I've never left development for a long time, so maybe people do forget that as well.
Yeah,
But from my experience, I think doing both together is important in college. Yeah.
yeah. And I think the mistake was something that a lot of people can learn from, because the sort of people have mood swings. I wouldn't say mood swings, but it's more of like they see the latest trend and they're like AI is coming in and all of that. Lead code is busted, or DSA isn't that important anymore, and they sort of fall into that bandwagon of either doing development or doing DSA. So you shouldn't fall
Mm.
into because DSA is something that helps build your logic, even if like in the future it won't be used in the interviews. Maybe it might be used, but it might, even if it's not used, I think it helps build your coding logic, where you sort of understand how you can solve simple problems. And then development is totally a different ball game, so as to say. uh, so yeah, so how was your experience at JP Morgan and Chase? Because a lot of people are interested in that office experience where, oh, we're gonna get free food or whatever, we're gonna get to work in such a big office. Or there's a lot of people that are interested in that, and that is why we see so much of that content as well. A day in my life of a great company person. So yeah, how was that experience? Like, it would be good to know a bit about that as well.
Okay, so the first day I had in my summer internship, the first day I had stepped into the office, I was totally taken aback that I'm having an opportunity to work in a place like this. Um, so it was like a hotel. I mean, when I went in, everything is so automated. It was completely like a hotel experience, and to have an office like that is something that is amazing. So yes, they do have a big office. They have a lot of breakout rooms, and uh, they have. If you want me to describe the office, they have a lot of play areas where you can actually, play and kind of take breaks from the work that you have. So they have like a TT table. They have foosball tables. They have pool, cricket. They have like, what do you call that? Box cricket. Yeah, and they also have air hockey. So there are several things that you can indulge yourself with. And yes, no, free food is not free, but you won't feel that you're having any shortage of money. That you won't feel that way. But yes, they do have a variety of cuisines available. Like you have North Indian, South Indian. You will have continental, and you'll have stuff if you are on a diet and if you want to maintain your diet. Yes, you will have stuff for that. You'll have a juice section. Uh, they do celebrate a lot. So we had once this there was a World Pancake Day, so we had amazing pancakes. And for Holi also we had a lot of charts, and also they celebrate in every occasion. They will have something special to eat. Yes, if you're a food lover, it's amazing. Um, yeah, and of course the office is beautiful. You can take multiple pictures there. The backgrounds are amazing, and yeah, that's kind of the thing. And the workspaces are also, you. I mean, I feel uh, it's better to go and work in office rather than staying at home and working from home. That's the kind of environment that they have created in the office. So yeah.
Okay. It was cool to know about that as well. That might serve as a motivation for some folks. But guys, this is just like for the extra and all that. You have to focus on work as well. It can't be that you're in the game room the entire day and doing random stuff. But this would definitely serve as a motivation to some people who are actually interested in the extra stuff as well, apart from your technical work and all that. Because every company has a technical work, you have to work everywhere. But I think with when you have such an environmental culture, you'd actually want to go and work. Like you mentioned that going to the office is better than maybe staying home and working on your personal laptop, though that might feel more comfortable for some folks. But yeah, it's a good experience overall. So, Upasana, thank you so much for sparing some time on this podcast. It was really good interacting with you. We got to know a lot about the entire process, and you really provided honest and concise answers. So, people have a really an easy time to sort of understand the culture and what sort of skills that you need and how you can actually grow and do something well. So as we end the podcast, is there some sort of motivational tip or any sort of advice that you have from your end, uh, just to anyone who is struggling maybe, or even someone who's doing good, but they feel like they can do better, just for anyone, like maybe a new student entering a normal college, or someone who's scared of coding, or yeah, just a general message for the entire audience that would really help them out.
Yeah, so I would like to say that it doesn't matter where you're starting from or whether it's the right time to start. But what actually matters is whether you're starting, right? It's never the right time to start. You just have to start working, start developing those skills. The earlier, the better for you. And once you start, and once the excitement gets over, it's very common that people leave the stuff they are doing. They leave DSA, they leave lead code. But staying consistent is, I guess, the most important quality that every student should have. But yes, you are enjoying in your college life, but come back home and do that one or two DSA questions. That is going to be all that you'll fall back on that once you are sitting for your interviews or you're submitting your resume. That's going to be the skills that you will be falling back upon. So staying consistent, being perseverant, that these are stuff that qualities that people should develop in college. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, once again, thank you so much, Upasana, for coming to this podcast, and all the best for your future journey. I think you'll probably do well if you stay consistent with what you have done so far, because it's not an easy job to actually get 4 internships into your 4 years. That's like doing one internship every year. Because a lot of people they're not able to secure a proper, like, even one internship. So that's like a commendable job that you did. And yeah, thank you so much. I think this video is really gonna help out the audience. So guys, do mention any doubts you have down in the comment section. I'll try to answer them if I can, or Upasana will definitely answer them. And do follow Upasana's LinkedIn page, because recently she's been adding a lot of internship opportunities as well. So it's a good page to follow. And then I'll attach her YouTube channel's link, so you can dive more into the particular details. So thank you so much, Upasana.
Thank you so much for having me here.